Hey y'all, it's y'all favorite cozy girl, Chi the Reality Queen, and I am back again with another episode of Robe Chronicles. Tonight we're going to be talking about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 4, Episode 9. Okay, I know y'all see me holding the microphone. I realized that when it's clipped to my robe, the robe a little thick, and the little clip ain't that thick. So it's hard to stay in one place and it's hard to not kind of catch the robe rubbing over it. So I'm going to hold on to this mic and see if that makes a difference in my sound quality. Yes, okay. Anyways, let's get into it. This episode is the reason why I love Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. It's the reason why I love the Real Housewives franchise, right? The drama was just right. Everybody hit where they were supposed to hit, and it was just good. Good natured housewife drama, right? Like, that's why we watch this show. Like, we love these episodes. So it starts off with Monica meeting with Angie K, and she's telling her, like, hey, girl, I was only telling you what the rumors were because I'm your friend. And I agree. I think that is such a good friend move, right? If you're hearing stuff about your friend or people are talking about your friend, the right thing to do as a friend is to go to that friend and say, hey, this is what people are saying about you. I don't think it's true, or maybe I do. I don't know. Maybe I've heard it as myself. Who knows? Whatever the case may be. But let them know this is what's in the streets about you. But the problem with this whole issue is the fact that we all know Angie K already knew, right? So you're not actually telling her anything new. You just embarrassing her because it's on national television, right? But you didn't want to embarrass her. Whitney did. So I don't know how Whitney is not catching any flack from this whole thing. But either way, they resolved it, they squashed it. Angie brought Monica's kids a book. And, it was really sweet. It was really genuine. It was one of the first times I felt like Angie K was genuine. And I felt like Monica was really genuine. I think the conversation was nice. You could tell Monica really, really loves her kids and wants better than what she got for them. I'm not saying she's perfect. Obviously, she's very flawed. But I do think that this was one of those moments where I was like, you know what? I could tell she wanted better for these kids. I don't know if she could provide it, right? Because when you're flawed, when you're trauma filled, sometimes it's hard, but I think she wants it. Um, but what was interesting about their conversation is up until that point, neither one of them really apologized. They just kind of were like, I'm good, we're okay, there's no problem, rather than I'm sorry for this behavior that I exhibited. And whatever, which I've noticed with housewives, it's so hard for them to be like, I'm sorry. But then, in a twist of things, Angie K opens up about her mother and she says, like, oh, her mother was an alcoholic and this and that. And it's crazy because you can see the shock in Monica's face when that happened because you could tell this was something that she did not know before this episode. Like, there's certain things that these housewives react to, and you could just see the genuine response in them. And that was one of those things. And I think that moment showed that Angie K was really trying to tear down those walls that she has put up with everybody and get real, right? About who she is and what she's experienced. Um, and I think that led to Monica actually apologizing, like saying the words, I'm sorry, or I apologize for, because up until then, like I said, baby girl was not apologizing. I mean, they resolved, but she wasn't apologizing. Next we see Lisa. She meets with Whitney to help kind of set up for Whitney's daughter's party. I think her daughter is Bobby. Um, and she tells her, like, yeah, I invited everybody except for Mary because last time Mary was around the kids, she was wilding. And honestly, I saw the clip, she was wilding. Um, anyways, but Lisa decides that she wants to badmouth Monica to Whitney, talking about just because she's being abused doesn't mean that she's not abusive. Now, that's true, right? Like, I think Lisa made a very valid point. That is absolutely true. You can be an abusive person that's been abused. Absolutely. However, Where the problem is Monica has not been abusive to Lisa. She has not been abusive to any of the housewives. Maybe she argues back with her mother, but that then becomes the relationship, right? You're yelling at me, you're arguing with me. And so the only way for me to feel like I can defend myself or fight back is to exhibit these same behaviors that you're exhibiting to me. I don't know. I just think Lisa is way out of her depth here with this conversation. She wants to just not believe Monica so bad that she's willing to kind of like ignore things that are right there in front of her face. So that's kind of lame to me. Um, and she's like, oh, she's using her mom's abusiveness as an excuse. An excuse for what? See, and that's what's really crazy to me. Unless we're missing something as viewers, I don't know what Monica has used her mom's abuse as an excuse for. She hasn't done anything to the housewife where she was like, oh, I only do this because my mom was abusive. Like, I haven't seen that. The only time she has said that was in response to the way her mother was acting in public and why it triggered her so much. I reacted this way because of what I'm used to. Not I'm fighting with Angie K in public because of my mama, or I'm fighting with you, Lisa, because of my mama. Sorry, I just realized I gotta keep the mic close. But she didn't use it as an excuse in that manner. She just used it as a response to why her mother's behavior in Angie K's house was triggering. So I feel like Lisa's really just trying to, I don't like this girl, so no matter what she does, even if she's being treated poorly, it don't matter type vibe. But yeah, um, she believes Monica is even faking and lying about being abusive. And I mean, it's so obvious. Like, we as viewers can see her mother's behavior and know that it's problematic. So I don't know how Lisa thinks that it's fake. Um, but what I do like is how Whitney says that she's going to choose to believe Monica. And one of the reasons why I think so is because I think that Whitney has spent many a seasons talking about her tumultuous relationships with her family. So she knows how easy it is to just see somebody for 30 minutes in a show or at dinner or whatever and think that shit's sweet and not know the layers and layers and layers of trauma that is there from years and years and years of abuse. So I definitely appreciate Whitney for that. And Lisa, like I said, she's just being weird in this situation. Um, Heather and Meredith meet up to talk basically about Lisa's Mormonism. And it's funny because Heather was saying like she doesn't like how Lisa is making the Mormon church seem so lax and so chill. And she's like, that's not the church I experienced, and that's not the church that exists. And she doesn't like the fact that Lisa is trying to spread this falsehood of what their church is, or her former church is, when she wasn't, she didn't get to benefit from that. And I think Meredith was like so shocked at the church, like wow, I didn't even know it was that strict. I didn't know it was that restrictive, stuff like that. And I get it, right? Because it's almost like I don't, okay, as a person, I don't like using this word, but I feel like it's a little gaslighty, right? To Heather. Lisa is like gaslighting her. Like, she grew up in the church. She knows what she experienced. And Lisa's like, yeah, no, that's not it at all. It's like this. And Heather knows that's not true. And Lisa is like not backing down on the fact that she's just full of it. Right. And she could just honestly say, hey, I'm saying this because I don't actually attend mass. Like, I don't go. So I'm telling you that this is what I do and this is how it is. But truthfully, I'm saying this because I don't show up and I don't go and I don't really, experience it the way my spouse does. So I don't really know what it is, but I haven't been excommunicated, so I can say whatever I want. Um, and then Meredith does talk about how she understands Whitney's point. Like, it's a kid's birthday. She's like, I don't want to go there to fight with anybody, because that's one thing about a few of the housewives. There's a few housewives on the series that always understand and respect the boundaries of children. And there's a few housewives who don't. So there's ones like Meredith who's gonna be like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna argue with children there or whatever. And that's good. And so she was like, I don't want to um cause a problem. And she's like, that's just crazy. It's a kid's birthday, basically. Um, then we see Whitney and her daughter's getting glam for the first time for her 13th birthday. It's so adorable, that scene. I mean, the daughter is so adorable, and she's like, oh my God, I have eyebrows. And I don't know if that's like a ginger thing. Oh, wait, redhead thing? I forgot what show was it that ginger became offensive. Oh man, it's gonna kill me. Was it Survivor? No. Big Brother? Either way, some show somewhere. Anyway, so she was like, "Oh, I have eyebrows." It was just really cute. Um, Heather. Then they show like Heather calling Angie, and Angie tells her about how Lisa had a brunch in which she told some of her friends about Jack's mission and where he was going. And Heather was like, well, I wasn't invited and no one told me. And that's exactly what Heather has been talking about. Like, you keep saying, oh, we're good, we're friends, we're this, we're that. But when things happen that you would invite friends to, I don't get invited. But what's real tea is that noticeably absent from that announcement was Meredith. No one was talking about that. Because I was like, Meredith was her girl. Like, they were close, they were good friends. And I know they're working on rebuilding their relationship, but to not have Meredith there for a situation like that, I'm like, Heather, you're mad? Why is Meredith mad? Why haven't they even addressed the fact that Meredith wasn't there? I was like, oh, girl, that seems like there's more still underlying beef between those two that they still haven't been able to work through or resolve. Um, but yeah, just Whitney and Angie. It's like you just met Angie yesterday, or so it seems, and then you're cool with Whitney, but it's like this is who you're giving your big family announcement to. Not buying it. Um, but yeah, Heather was upset, and she wants to kind of talk to her about it. Um, and then they go to the party, and Whitney got her daughter and her friends a party bus to go to the roller rink. And honestly, I was shocked. I haven't been to a roller rink in quite some time. But you're allowed to ride razors on the roller rink. Like, I didn't know that. That's new to me. I definitely have never seen that before. I've gone to roller rinks and you have roller skates and you have roller blades and that's it. But I saw that some kids had like razors. And then also her daughter, they had like a little soda bar with like different flavors. And I thought that was really cool because I love different flavored soda when I do drink it, which isn't too often. But when I do, love the different flavors. Um, Whitney's mother comes, but she comes for her granddaughter. She does not come for her daughter. I mean, they talk. This kind of makes me wonder, like, I feel like that relationship was supposed to be bad. And I know that she said, oh, I'm coming for my granddaughter, but it's like they talked, they said hi. Like, I don't know what the extent of that drama is, but I know we haven't seen her mom before. So that was interesting. Um, Heather tells Monica what Whitney told her, which was that Lisa thinks that she's faking the relationship with the mom and like things aren't as bad as she claims for it to be. And Lisa goes to Heather to kind of talk to her about the whole not invite thing, but then they end up talking about Monica because Monica's there. First of all, if you wanted to talk to Heather, why didn't you pull her aside? Why would you talk to her when Monica's there? Your now sworn enemy. Very weird. And it's funny because Heather is like, why is Lisa like so against you? She's like, I mean, ever since I called her materialistic, and it's so true. Lisa is not letting the fact that Monica called her materialistic go. And let's face it, Lisa, baby girl, you are materialistic. to a crazy degree. It's actually scary. And I don't know why that bothers you because that's just who you are. And that's okay. I'm like, I mean, it really doesn't affect anybody else. So you really shouldn't be that mad, but you are. That's who you are. You are a very materialistic person. And why that word is so offensive to you, I don't know. But anyways, Monica's talking like, yes, my mom is nice. She's charismatic. She's friendly, but so was Ted Bundy. Okay, y'all. Lisa gets onto the internet after watching the episode to tweet about how, well, first, she doesn't like the conversation or the comparison, but she goes on to basically talk about how she's comparing her mom to a serial killer and this and that. And I'm like, is Lisa that like daft that she doesn't understand that it's not a comparison of her mom being a killer, but just a comparison of how people can be two-faced but appear one way when they're really not? Like, what? And then she talking about Ted Bundy eating people, and she quoting she. And my favorite part is she keeps replying to people in the comments on Twitter about how Ted Bundy ate people, but she's not linking the source. She just took a screen grab of a random website, random article. I'm like, girl, you could have written that yourself, took that screen grab and shared it, because that screen grab is not connected to any link, anything, and you're not telling us where you got that information. Like, I don't like people that don't like to cite their sources, and Lisa doesn't, because Lisa's just trying to prove that she's right rather than what she said was true. And it's like, girl, no one believes you. Okay. And even if whatever, you still have to cite your sources. You have to say where you got the information that you're sharing. I don't know. That was weird. I just think Lisa should probably stop tweeting for a little bit to kind of get her image back under control. Um, but anyway, um, Heather and Lisa have a conversation finally after that little tit for tat, and they are talking, and she's like apologizing, or not apologizing, but trying to explain why she didn't invite Heather. She's trying to protect Heather's peace because of everything that happened with her. And Jack comes over, of course, because kids are kids. And he says hi to Heather, like, no problem. They're perfectly fine. No beef with her. He obviously knows who Heather is. I mean, unless he's under a rock, but he obviously knows who Heather is. He obviously knows her story. And he still said hi to her and was very friendly. And that's basically what Heather wants. Like, let's act normal. You're the one not acting normal, Lisa. Like, you're making things weird. Um, But yeah, Heather calls BS as she should. Lisa is the number one BSer on this show. Um, and yeah, it's just weird. Um, then Lisa leaves the party. She hugs Angie, she hugs Whitney, who are standing there talking to Monica, and she just kind of waves at Monica when she leaves. And I'm like, I feel like you purposely, and maybe the show producers make her do it, but it's like you're always purposely trying to go into a space that Monica's in to attempt to be shady. And it's like, girl, did that. Leave that alone. Leave that alone. Anyways, the next day they show Lisa talking to her husband about the party and everything that happened. And honestly, John is like the calmest, must be nicest person ever, because I don't know how he truly deals with Lisa. Like, I don't know. She's so self-centered. Like, you are married to someone who genuinely appears to not care about other people. Like, how is that possible? How does she exist on that plane of just being so oblivious to other people? And it's funny because, like, in the middle of their conversation, somebody texts her, and then she's no longer paying attention to what he's talking about. Again, this could be the edit, of course, but it's like, this is not the first time that they've had this happen. This is not the first season that they've had this happen. Lisa always does that to her husband, where he starts talking and she starts ignoring him. And it's just like, how can someone care so much about themselves exclusively? Um, But anyways, Heather's daughter is wearing a long, sparkly dress to prom, and I absolutely love it. Let me tell you, the girlies don't be wearing long dresses no more. I've been seeing what the kids are wearing to prom and homecoming and winter formal and all these dances, and they are wearing these little short numbers, and they're not sparkly. They don't have any tulle. They're all like just little freakum dresses, and they're cute. Don't get me wrong. I'm not judgy. I'm not too old. I get it. But like her dress was so cute and so prom like and so age appropriate. I loved it. And then she has a boyfriend who's like Muslim from Bosnia. I'm like, look at her living her best life, like with someone outside the church. Like, I love it. I love that Heather is giving her kids the space to be whoever it is that they want to be, right? Like there's no set mold of who they have to be. And I think that this is obviously a trauma response of Heather's, right? Because she was told she needed to fit into this cookie cutter mold. And she's just like, I don't want that for my kids at all. So she's going very far in the opposite direction. But I do love that she cares enough about her kids to just be so open and honest with them. She was worried that her daughter wasn't even going to go to prom because she was going to be so ostracized because most of the people that go to their school are all Mormon. But she was able to find someone. I mean, she's a pretty girl. I'm telling you, once she gets out of Utah, she will be set. I'm sure the other sister is living it up in Santa Barbara because duh. And so it's just, I just like it, you know? Um, yeah. Whitney has her Prism event the next day. I guess it's the day after the birthday party, or I don't know. That's the way it seemed. And it's crazy because no one could make it besides Angie K, Lisa, and Monica. And that's because obviously, I don't know where Meredith was, but Heather was with her daughter for prom and helping her get ready and all that stuff. So she wasn't able to make it. Um, and it's funny because low key, everyone's now cool with Monica except for Lisa. So it's awkward for her because Lisa is a lot more like Jen Shaw than I think she likes to admit. Jen Shaw was like, either you're with me or against me, boo. And that's clearly how Lisa feels. Like, if you're friends with Monica, then you're not friends with her. And it like really bothers her when in reality, people can be friends with whoever. Um, but yeah, so Angie K brings up Lisa to Monica when she walks in. And Monica was like, I don't talk about this woman like that. Like, y'all keep bringing her up, or she keeps inserting herself. And from the clips, roll the tapes, baby. It's true. They keep coming to her about Lisa, and Lisa keeps coming to her. And she is not talking about Lisa. She don't care about Lisa, clearly, but all these people want her to care real bad about Lisa and keep talking about her. Um, and they start getting into a little tit for tat. And it's funny because Angie is just trying to be friendly and be like a peacemaker, and Lisa is not having it. Like, this is just infuriating her more and making her more and more mad at Monica. And it's like, she's just living her life. Like, why is this upsetting you so much? But the thing is, Monica's not gonna let you come at her crazy. She's still gonna say things and make comments and do all that stuff. Like, it's not just gonna be a free for all. It's not gonna be a bash Monica says because she's not gonna let that happen. But it's like, Lisa, you're not even clever. Sorry, you're not. If I'm going back and forth with Lisa, you're obliterating her because she's not clever. She says things that are just like, okay. And all of this is happening while they decided to start a sound bath. And Monica and Lisa are going back and forth while everybody else is just quiet. So all you hear is the sound bath and them. And Whitney's like, should I tell them to leave? Like, yes, girl, tell them to leave. But honestly, this is peak Housewives. This tit for tat, this back and forth that happens without any physical fighting is peak Housewives behavior. And, everybody wants Lisa to be quiet because the thing is, she's talking about, oh, Monica, you're so embarrassing. You're the problem here. You're so loud and this and that. But the truth is, you don't want her to have the last word. And because you don't want her to have the last word, you keep saying stuff to keep antagonizing her. So she keeps coming back. And I'm not saying that Monica is above, she's being childish. She's calling her old. She's saying all types of things. So she's not perfect. She's not completely right. But it's like, Lisa, you could just end it because you think she's childish and this and that. Just walk away. Stop talking to her. Why are you standing there? Then you're getting mad when Angie tries to interject, telling her not to talk and this and that. And Monica's right. That's why I like Monica's. Monica's like, she shouldn't be able to tell you to not talk. If you want to talk, if you have an opinion, say it. The fact that she's trying to cut you off and not let you talk or not let you have your peace is crazy. I think that, you know, Monica was reading the hell out of Lisa. Like every little dig, she was like, because she called her old, an old whatever. And Angie was like, hey, that's low. I'm older than her. And she was like, yeah, but she wears it. I was like, oh, you better get her. Pop, pop, pink, pink, pink. Like she was getting her. She was not getting off Lisa's neck. She was at her throat and she was getting her. And Lisa just was saying just dumb things in return. It wasn't even like clever. I mean, she had a couple of little zingers here and there, but overall, Angie was winning that little, I guess you could call it fight argument. Um, and then but then Lisa obviously goes very low and says, like, oh, no one wants to be your mom. That's why your mom isn't a good mom and blah, 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 and that's nasty work. That's low. That's low, right? Calling somebody old, fat, ugly. I'm not saying body shaming is cool or whatever, but it's not as low as saying that nobody wants to be your mama when the person has a mom problem. Do y'all not remember when Candace talked about Mia's mom being a drug addict? It was low. Marlo talking about Kenya's mom abandoning her, it was low. And you like when you talk about people's mama, it gets low. Low. Okay. So when Monica is snapping back and is in your face, giving it to you, you can only blame yourself because you went low and she decided to go to hell. So that's pretty much what it is. Um, but I just think that overall, Lisa's just really upset that her plan to make everybody not like Monica, especially Angie, didn't work out the way she thought it would. She doesn't want anybody to like Monica, and especially Angie. She tried, she pushed, she tried to say, look at this, look at that, look at that. And Angie was kind of like, no, I don't agree. And that is killing Lisa. She does not like the fact that she wasn't able to manipulate everybody to be on her side. Um, and then Monica is like, you know what? I'm just gonna leave, get out of here after the sound bath was over, and she took off. Then Lisa goes crying to Whitney, not literally crying, but she goes figuratively crying to Whitney about, like, oh, I can't believe this and I can't believe that. And Whitney's like, girl, I'm at an event and I'm trying to sell shit. I do not care what you got going on. But the problem is, Lisa is so self centered, so self centered. She can't take 1 second to think, how have I affected my friend or who I claim to be my friend? How have I affected her event? How am I impeding on her success? And she does not be, but she doesn't care because she only cares about herself. And so, because Whitney wasn't giving her the energy she wanted, and Whitney wasn't immediately on her side with this whole Monica deal, she was like, well, I'm going to leave. And so she leaves. Girl, bye. And that's pretty much how that episode ended. But like I said, I love the episode for the little tit for tats, the arguments at an event, the awkward looks from the crowd. Just such a perfect episode. Honestly, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, I know there is some drama going on, and most of the cast is mad at Monica. Apparently, she doesn't pay for her beauty lab payments. Heather didn't even know it was her, supposedly. Like, I don't really know what's going on, but they are not talking. But let me tell you, Monica is a star. Do not get rid of her. I do not know what that show is going to do if they get rid of her. They need her. She is now the glue. Unless my girl Jen Shaw gets out early on good behavior or something, I don't know what they would do without Monica. Free Jen Shaw till it's backwards, y'all. Anyways, please like, comment, subscribe, share, tell your friends about this videos, and have them share it with their friends if they watch The Real Housewives or any of the other series I do recordings on. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.